Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, the practical guide to living a fully engaged life. Are you ready to live life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Then let's get started. Welcome to the Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Okay, so we took a brief break in this latest series on the 4 foundations of transcendent intention in order to insert a little Valentine's Day special. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you had a very romantic celebration on Valentine's Day. But now let's get back to it, shall we? So this is number 2 in the series of the 4 foundations of transcendent intention. Understanding just how powerful our channeled, our focused intention can be and how it can benefit the adventure of our life. See, living a fully engaged life is to live this consciously, to be a co-creator, to be fully tuned into yourself and the world around you, whether that be the physical world, the world of the mind, or the spiritual world. You are tuned in. You are tuned in to your true self. And just like the 4 efforts, the 4 skillful efforts that we discussed in a previous series, this series of 4 skillful intentions is also sequential in nature. So please make sure and listen to and engage the meditative practice of the previous episode, the number 1. It should be episode 179. So make sure you start there before jumping into this one. This is number 2. So we want to do them in the proper sequential order. There's a very purposeful reason for how this material is presented. And if you recall, the 4 levels of intention we will cover here can be considered as a form of vibrational self-protection for the spiritual warrior. Think about that. How incredible is that? So remember, when we engage the spiritual path, there are 2 sides to it. The first is to seek out, embrace, and engage in positive spiritual practices themselves. This is to engage in all of the positive high vibration activities. It's to have wholesome thoughts, wholesome emotions, wholesome speech, wholesome actions. These are the things we are trying to do because that gets us more in tune to our true self. It helps reveal who we truly are and reconnect to our true nature of pure conscious awareness. The second side is that along the way, we are going to develop skills to protect ourselves from negative influences, both self-inflicted from the negativity of the mind, as well as external sources from other people, unforeseen circumstances, things like that. So we want to remember that walking a spiritual path involves both parts. So while we are learning to be more positive, rewire ourselves, and be more wholesome and high vibration and open-hearted, we then have to learn how to protect ourselves from these influences, whether self-inflicted or inflicted upon us by external influences. We have to know how to prevent that from getting to us. So we have to protect ourselves from that. And that allows us then to stay in the positive. So we need to develop this balance. And this is why the idea of a spiritual warrior is so important. If you recall, it's not about fighting others. It's not about being at war. It's about developing this inner strength the inner strength to confront ourselves, to confront life situations, the ability to remain positive and high vibration no matter what, and the ability to protect ourselves. That's the idea of a warrior, right? Is to protect the weak, or to protect a nation, and so on. So we need to be able to have this ability to protect our own spiritual nature. We have to protect our spirit, right? And this is part of very classical, very traditional martial arts training, is this spiritual protection. There are all kinds of methods for this. So this has been part of the spiritual path, the unfolding of your human potential, for thousands and thousands of years. And I know many people who are on the spiritual path that are kind of like overly sensitive, liberal type people. They have a problem with things like the term warrior. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to engage the spiritual path, it is not easy. And you're going to need that sort of inner fortitude to be able to walk this path, and especially to see it through to completion, to become awakened, fully conscious, and living a fully engaged life. Okay, so just to recap ever so briefly, the first intention was focused desire, using visualization and physical sensation. We use the power of sight, visualization, to observe in our mind's eye the reality that we desire to bring about. So make sure you have attained that ability. Visualization is a skill, and it can require some practice, but everyone has the ability to do it to some degree. The important thing is to see it and to feel it. Feel it, not just emotionally, which is good as well, but also the physical sensation of it, how it makes you feel in your chest, in your stomach. We want to pay attention to these physical sensations as well as the emotional response we have to it. We want to get excited and thrilled and just truly desiring it more than anything. And this helps us activate the ability to use this focused desire this way. And this is where we realize that all desire is not bad. It's not evil, right? It can be used if it's focused correctly. It can become an incredibly powerful tool for us as human beings to use. So this is where we set that desire on something positive, on something beneficial, and then we begin to activate that desire through the focused intention. So this focused desire is just the first stage in learning how to focus your intention. The second is focused thought. So here we are going to begin the second practice. And remember, these are meditative practices. The first set of 4 efforts were merely contemplation exercises. These are actual meditative practices. So you'll want to be able to find a nice quiet place where you won't be interrupted. Get rid of all distractions, especially your cell phone. Yes, set that thing aside, and be able to engage this practice uninterrupted for as long as you'd like. There's no time frame on this, so you do it as long as it's comfortable, as long as you're engaging it. And then, as always, if you want to get a little deeper, especially for the visualization and things like that, it really helps to engage the breath bridge. So that program is now available online on my website. I've spoke about it here throughout the past 180 episodes constantly, so you can get an idea of how to actually perform that, and that takes you from the external world to the internal world. So that will serve you greatly with these practices. So number 2 is focused thought. What we're going to be working on is actually saying that which we desire. We're going to verbally express our focused intention. So the first time we were seeing it, right? We were visualizing it. Now we're going to say it. Now we're going to verbalize our intention, because it makes it just a little bit more real, doesn't it? It's got that vibration going out into the field all around us, into the universe. So what we want to do is to find a way to repeat our focused thought to ourselves and to others until we bring it into reality. Now, we want to realize that this is meant to be used in conjunction with focused desire of seeing it. So these 4 things you want to do all together. So this is the second in this series of 4. And as you went through the first practice, we split that into 2 sections. The first is the practice, the internal practice, using the mind as a tool. So what you're going to do is find that safe, quiet, comfortable spot to sit down, however you like, and use the breath bridge to go from the external to the internal. And then once you've attained a sense of internal calm, a meditative state, you're going to repeat your desire to yourself until it becomes reality. So you're going to use the power of focused, wholesome speech to hear that which you desire in your mind. And remember, during these practices, to do your best to hold a high vibration throughout the entire practice. Okay, so you found that nice, quiet, comfortable space. You're sitting there taking a few deep, relaxing breaths. Make sure the cell phone is off and eliminate any other distractions as much as you possibly can. Sit comfortably, enjoy those breaths, and just settle in for a moment. Once again, focus your mind and intention on the contemplation of how powerful your focused intention can truly be. If you focused strongly enough, you have the power to overcome normal states of the physical world and intellectual understanding in order to consciously and deliberately create your reality. You want to reach a state of knowing that this ability is real and that it goes beyond the intellect of the mind and that you are fully capable of attaining it. So take just a moment and visualize your focused intention. Sit in observation and simply observe without judgment how incredible your life could be if you attained that which you desired. Now, focus the concentration of your mind, intent, and your thoughts as a way to attain a higher state of consciousness. Remain focused on the goal of robust health, which we're using as an example here, with a relaxed, natural sense of enthusiasm. You want to create a mental pattern of thought here. So we want to communicate with ourselves and later others strongly enough that we can transcend the limits of logic and the natural world in order to create the life we desire. Take a moment to focus all of your thoughts, all of your feelings on what it would be like to have such robust health. Now, you are going to use both vibration through saying it and the physical sensation in the body to access the focused power of your intention. Concentrate fully on what it would be like if you had no pain, no physical limitations, no disease. What it would be like if you had incredible, robust health. Repeat the mantra, I have robust health. I am healthy. Again and again and again. This mantra or affirmation is what you are going to use here to help you focus your intention through the incredible power of verbal vibration. So you are going to utilize visualization. You are going to see in your mind what your life would be like if you were healthy and happy and could do all the things you desire to experience. You're going to feel the excitement in your belly and throughout your entire body. You're going to hear it as you repeat it in your mind. Again and again, I am healthy. I am healthy. I have robust health. And make sure that you listen to yourself as you repeat it. Make sure that you feel it. Make sure you feel how strongly you desire it. Each time you say it in your mind, reaffirm it with the vision that you have for how great your life would be and how happy you would be and how great you would feel if you had that kind of robust health. Envision yourself being able to say it to others in your life, letting them know that you are healthy now and that you are able to do all the things you desire. What would those things be? Become clear on them and see them without any current restrictions. You can also take comfort in having a sense of longevity in order to enjoy those people and situations in your life longer than you may have previously believed. Say to yourself that you are healthier and more alive than ever, and then feel what it would be like to actually be that healthy. Repeat to yourself again and again just how healthy you are and how you are more alive than ever before. Instead of focusing on the negative, we're going to begin focusing on the positive, and then we are going to turn that physical negative into an actual, real, physical, positive experience. Now, you want to become very, very clear in your mind by thinking it and saying it and the physical sensation, and remain in this visualization along with it. So all of this is going to come together in this contemplative space for as long as you wish to engage this practice. The important thing here is to think it and then say it and then see it and then feel it. This is an incredible powerhouse of focused intention. When you are finished, simply reverse the breath bridge and reconnect to the external world. Sit and take a few deep breaths as you reconnect, and then slowly, very carefully, rise back up onto your feet. If you really engage this practice and you understand what is being presented, you will understand that this goes far beyond normal positive affirmations. Affirmations themselves may or may not help. This is how we focus the intention into our speech. You see, this is how much deeper it gets. This has a hidden component to it that just reciting something over and over doesn't have. This is how you activate it. So this is taking real visualization from a spiritual practice and a real mantra or affirmation from an actual spiritual system and process, and teaching you how to truly activate these things. And as you can see, we're going to use them together. And this becomes more and more powerful. You become more and more powerful. Once you learn how to fully harness this ability and completely focus all of your intention onto that which you desire, there's little stopping you from creating the life you deserve and desire. Now, as you remember, there's a second part, and this is the external practice, using the physical world as a reminder. So the second part of this training is to begin altering your thoughts and your speech. In other words, how you talk to yourself in your own mind, as well as how you speak to others around you. You want to make sure that you change this into a very positive, focused manner so that everything you think and everything you're saying to yourself and to others positively supports your robust health. Think only positive thoughts in regards to your health. And if a negative thought creeps in regarding your health, addressing poor health, catch it, stop it, and change it back to a positive thought, focusing your intention on that which you desire, which is robust health. In this way, you can begin managing your thoughts and maintaining that sense of focused intention onto the desired outcome. In this case, robust health. Of course, you can change this to be whatever it is you're focusing on all the time. But it's not meant to be used for material gains, such as winning the lottery or buying a Lamborghini or something. Okay, I guess you could use it towards some of those things, but you really couldn't enjoy any of those things without robust health now, could you? It's a matter of focused priorities as well. So we want to make sure that any mental patterns we have circulating around in our mind serve us. They provide positive internal mental speech to ourselves so that it supports the focus of our intention. And then we want to make sure that whenever we speak to others, whenever we're talking aloud, whenever we engage any topic of our health, it's always geared towards the positive. How much better you're feeling, how much better you're doing, how you're going to reclaim total robust health. We want to avoid speaking about the negative stuff. And that can become a challenge when you're dealing with other people because the whole misery loves company truth, right? So a lot of times people don't want to hear that you're doing better. They want to engage in the drama of how bad you're doing. So you may find that some people aren't interested in hearing how great your health is getting, even though they were very excited to hear about how poor it had gotten. And this isn't that they're bad people. This is just human nature, and they are not even aware of it. So we can't hold this sort of thing against them. What we do is simply observe it and understand it, and just use it as an opportunity to speak positively whenever we can. We don't want to cram it down somebody's throat, right? But at the same time, we want to be able to talk about it whenever we have the opportunity. And if that person truly loves you, if they're truly a friend, they will be elated by the fact that you are becoming healthier, and they will want to hear it. So other casual conversations with coworkers or acquaintances, people that don't know you that well or, aren't in your circle of love, right? Your circle of love. So maybe they're not that close to you, and maybe they're not that far along spiritually. So, have some compassion, don't get angry, but use the opportunity whenever it arises to be able to share how incredibly great your health is, how much better it has gotten. So we're going to use the power of focused intention within our speech whenever we talk to someone else. Now, we're working with speech here. So another thing you can do is begin to listen to audio programs and podcasts and other positive health-based programs that don't dwell on the negative aspect of a condition and play up the victim mentality of it, but instead encourages you, inspires you to think about and implement ways to positively impact your health so that you can attain robust health. You can listen to these programs in your car, on your phone, anything. We can make good use of those things listening. So look at the amount of speech here that we're dealing with. Our own internal speech, our thoughts, our external speech, the words that we speak in conversation to others, or the things we say out loud if we happen to be talking to ourselves for a moment. And now we can also engage the words of others to help reinforce these things that we are working on, that we are focusing our intention upon. The power of intention is extremely, extremely powerful, but it isn't magic. In other words, you can't simply sit and visualize and focus your mind on something only to turn around and act in an opposite way in physical reality. We must learn to act in a way that reflects all of the other things. And in this case, our physical actions have to reflect that which we are constantly repeating to ourselves and to others. We want to bring together and unleash the immense power of focused intention that is contained within the balance of heaven, earth, and being. As this unlocks our high vibration and the physical environment in order to create the best possible scenario for success. So to recap, what you're going to do is sit and focus through repeated intentions. So we are going to repeat, I have robust health. I am healthy. I've never been healthier and more alive in my life. You want to sit and repeat that in your mind. So you're going to use your thoughts to help focus your intention. You're going to keep repeating this to yourself. And then you are going to use visualization to see it, and you're going to tune into the physical sensations and emotions to feel it within you. We're bringing all these things together. And then when you are not in seated meditative practice, you are going to use the power of verbal vibration of your words to keep reciting these things to anybody that will listen. Anytime you talk to anybody, anytime the subject of your health comes up, you are going to speak only positively of it and how great it's getting and how great it's going to get. Fend off any negative thoughts or negative words in regards to your health. So even if it's hurting a little bit someday or you're having a low day, still remain steadfast in your focused intention and don't dwell on it. We don't want to allow it to detract from our focused intention. So we don't want to moan and groan because that is sending a vocal vibration, right? So we don't want to moan and groan. We don't want to stress on it. Now, I'm not saying we pretend it isn't there. This is not the correct way. We're not pretending that it isn't there. We are just making the conscious decision, the choice, not to allow ourselves to focus on it and the mind to dwell on it. Now, obviously, if something gets worse, then you need medical attention. You need to see to that, right? So we're just using health here as an example of attaining robust health. There's no medical advice. So the idea is if you feel anything negative creeping up, a thought or some words, you want to try and catch them, stop them, and correct them. Here's an example. So if I was speaking to someone and they begin to make conversation by asking how your illness is today, and you may find that your initial unconscious reaction to that would be to respond with, oh, it's hurting here, or this is aching, or something like that, or I'm having a down day, right? What you want to do is catch yourself if you're doing that. Stop oh, well, it's kind of hurting, and catch yourself, stop. Say, but it's getting better. It's hurting less than it did before, and I really think I've turned a corner. I'm starting to feel better. This is starting to go away. I'm just feeling better all around. I'm feeling more alive. I think I'm going to beat this thing, and I'm feeling good, actually. I'm feeling much better, right? Something like that is an example. So you want to catch yourself and then bring it out into the positive. The last thing you want to do is find yourself repeatedly bitching about it, whether it's in your own mind or to other people. It doesn't serve you at all. It works against you. It's another form of self-sabotage. We're trying to get past that. All right? So that is the power of this particular practice, and this is a meditative practice, so treat it accordingly and practice as though it was a meditative practice, not a contemplative exercise like the 4 skillful efforts. When we're dealing with these skillful intentions, this has changed. We're going a little deeper now into an actual meditative practice. And don't worry if it takes a little bit. This is a lot, okay? There's a lot going on here, and it's a challenge. And what you want to do is face that challenge. Have the inner strength, the fortitude to persevere and to make sure that you can do this. You can do this, all right? It may be difficult at first, but I assure you it gets easier and easier and easier over time. And then pretty soon you don't even have to engage the practice anymore. You don't need to practice because that's who you are now. That's just the way you are. And that is a wonderful thing. This is the nature of the spiritual path. Please make sure to stop by www.expansionmastery.com. Give me a visit there. Check out some articles. You can purchase your copy of the Appreciation Mastery Program, the Breath Bridge, which would be extremely helpful for these meditative practices, or an autographed copy of Expansion Mastery, the Practical Guide to Living a Fully Engaged Life. I just received 10 fresh cases of newly printed books from my publisher, and I'll be offering them at a very special price. Make sure you check that out on the website. And also stop by Facebook and Twitter, and please make sure and subscribe and like and share this podcast and my YouTube channel. Together, we can get real spiritual information out into the world and help this consciousness shift take place and to make a real difference in the world. We can make the world a better place. So please share all of this with everyone you know. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the very best of success in your spiritual practices and your life. Take care.